Mr. Emmett, take her down. Make your depth 150 feet, 10-degree down bubble.
150 feet, 10-degree down bubble. Aye, sir.
Welcome. You have opened the hatch with your listening device. Inside is another dimension. A dimension of weightlessness, a dimension of new sights, new sounds, new experiences. A dimension of total zen. You have entered the Deco Chamber. Here in the Deco Chamber, we are non-denominational about diving. We will talk about everything from floating in the pool to technical diving and everything before, during, and after. Feel free to send us your stories, anecdotes, or anything you would like to hear discussed. So let's secure the hatch, begin equalizing, pressurize the chamber, and have some fun.
Sat another average Joe. He looked at tropical scenes and travel magazines. Knew he probably never would go. And Joe had a vision. He made a decision to go down where the water's still blue. If he was gonna survive, he'd have to learn how to dive, and that's exactly what he set out to do. So he got off at his train stop, walked into a dive shop, and showed the girl the picture he'd seen, where they got steel drums a-playing and palm trees a-swaying. She said, I know just what you mean. I'm gonna teach you to dive, I'll get you certified, then I'll take you down someplace where it's warm. Then you can star on Survivor as a certified diver, but first you'll have to fill out this form. Now his friends all call him Scuba Joe. He knows the stuff that only divers know. He spends all his time down below. There's nowhere that he'd rather be. He's always hanging with his diving friends. That's where the scuba party never ends. As long as no one ever gets the bends while they live life under the sea. Joe was successful, but his job was so stressful. Vacation was long overdue. But with the scuba lessons and some therapy sessions, it looks like he might pull through. Just an average Joe who was sick of the snow. Now he's a lifetime member of Dan. He can't wait to be seeing the blue Caribbean. At least this boy has got him a plan. Now his friends all call him Scuba Joe. He knows the stuff that only divers know. He spends all his time down below. There's nowhere that he'd rather be. He's always hanging with the snow and couldn't wait to do a tropical dive. He hopped on a cruise ship, went out on a dive trip, and had the best time of his life. And as he's diving the islands, fishing the pilings in the sun with an ice-cold beer, he starts to daydream about a whole new scheme, and the plan becomes increasingly clear. See, that girl from the dive shop with a body that won't stop made his diving dreams come true. She taught him to dive and got him certified. Then he went down where the water's so blue. But something was missing, all the hugging and kissing they used to practice in the pool so clear. He misses that girl, she really changes her world. Now Joe's thinking about changing careers. Now his friends all call him Scuba Joe. He knows the stuff that only divers know. He spends all his time down below. There's nowhere that he'd rather be. He's always hanging with his diving friends. That's where the scuba party never ends. As long as no one ever gets the bends while they live life under the sea. Back on a non-stop and made that girl's jaw drop when he knelt down and asked for her hand. You could have heard a pin drop throughout the dive shop when he said he wanted to be your man. He said, if you'll be my wife, we can start a new life. I just bought a dive shop in Belize. Come run away now with me down to Ambergris Key, and we'll live next to those tropical seas. Now his friends all call him Scuba Joe. He knows the stuff that only divers know. He spends all his time down below. There's nowhere that he'd rather be. He's always hanging with his diving friends. That's where the scuba party never ends. As long as no one ever gets the bends while they live life under the sea. They're a very happy scuba duo, living out the songs at Buffett Road. They dive the sights that only locals know throughout the Caribbean Sea. They're in the islands with their diving friends, and they won't ever come back here again. It's just a fairy tale from start to end, from the dive shop on Ambergris Key. No, the story doesn't have to end, but they sure look happy to me.
Decompression schedule complete. It's time to gear up and splash. See you in the water. Until next time, this is Venice Beach Chamber.
Please note, we are not a scuba diving training facility. Diving is a serious sport that contains risks. It can be a lot of fun, but it can also kill you. Scuba diving places human beings in an environment they are not adapted to. Proper training and equipment are necessities to dive. Our discussions are meant to share diving experiences. None of our discussions should be considered scuba diver training. Our discussions will not qualify anyone to try anything we have discussed. You must be certified to dive and experienced. If you are, have fun. If you are not, get certified before you dive, and then dive with a buddy. A lot. Experience everything you learn, and do not rush your training. Do not dive outside your comfort zone or limits of your training, or try anything we talk about. The opinions presented here are those of the hosts and guests. They are not necessarily those of any sponsor or advertiser.